Welcome to the Aftercast, and we are actually streaming this Facebook Live as well. So if you want to search Wally Show in Facebook, you can find us. We got Betty Rock, Becca, Zach, myself, and we kind of do the show like we normally do. And then there are things that we don't get a chance to get to, and that's what kind of ends up in the Aftercast. And then sometimes people stop by the show, and that is the case for our show historian, Rob. How are you, Rob?
I'm doing pretty well.
Rob is a kid that I met years ago in South Dakota at Hills Alive. And let me see. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe you back then. Annoying comes to mind. And like everything I hated about this kid was because it was me as a kid. Like I met him with his friends, and he's grandstanding, he's making fun of me in front of his kids. And you're a funny guy, but you just were relentless, just boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And so then I kind of get to know him over the years, and he knows more about this show than any of us ever could possibly know. So I've come to like him as a person now and as a friend, and it's been really interesting too to watch you just kind of grow. And we have like some theological discussions and stuff, because you actually are planning on going to like seminary or something.
Yeah, I'm actually planning on getting a doctorate, probably with a New Testament emphasis, and then teaching at a university somewhere.
Wow, and that's so cool, man. Like, because you'll be able to relate to people and kids and go, man, I was a punk like you, and now I'm like I'm like a religious man.
Your sister's watching too, by the way.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
on Facebook Live.
Yeah, because Beth Ann has like gotten to know us on the show as well. But
I got
Rob,
a Christmas card from her.
How amazing is that? Rob was first. Beth Ann, again, I don't think it's out of school or out of turn to focus on the fact and highlight the fact that she gave during one of our pledge drives. We still have not received Rob's check, but whatever.
Weird.
I had to find some way to one-up her, so I figured driving all the way down here just to see you was probably. But
We
I guess
would've
if that's
preferred
not
the
good
money.
enough, you know.
Yeah, money's always
well,
better, Rob.
I guess I thought too well of you.
Yeah.
He's
Honestly,
getting a doctorate in theology.
Yeah.
He needs to be careful.
You're not that great of a gift. Let's be honest. No.
Do I make you feel too bad or something? Or?
You do actually. No, but it has been. It's been interesting to see kind of you just kind of grow up a little bit too, and see God in your life, and the fact that you wanted to go into seminary is impressive. And like you're actually like smart with it. Like the things that we discuss, I'm like, oh, that's a really good point. And you've already spent time. How old are you?
I'm 21.
21. And so you've already spent like a lot of time like in the Word as well. Like it's obvious. So that's impressive. Where are you looking to go?
Well, I'm actually looking at a number of different schools. Actually, that's why I'm here today, is because we're doing a tour.
Oh,
of some
so
schools.
it's not to see us.
Oh yeah. So
Well,
strike two.
That's why I'm in Nashville. But
You're,
that's not
there's
why I'm
one in
traveling.
Nashville you're looking for?
No, I'm in Nashville because you guys are here.
Oh, well, thank you.
We're actually traveling from. We went to try and see Duke Divinity. It didn't work out, and so we're up to go to Asbury Theological, which is in Wilmore, Kentucky. It's a
I've
good
been
place.
there.
Cool.
My brother went to seminary, and that was one of the places he looked at. He ended up at Ashland.
He couldn't get in.
No.
He has a past.
No.
Yeah, does seminary ever, do they like keep you out because of your past at all?
Well, actually, I was applying to Moody back 3 or 4 years ago. Moody, what is it?
Bible Institute.
Bible Institute.
Yeah.
And they're in Chicago, and I applied to them, and because I had only been a Christian for 8 months at the time, they didn't accept me into their Chicago campus.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're like kind of like, wow, I kind of need it now. But okay.
They
I'll
have
see you in 5 years after I burn out.
They
That's
have a
funny.
thing on their website where you have to be a Christian for a year in order to go there. But
And then if you lie about it, it's kind of bad.
right.
When did you get your Christian card?
Right.
I got it a year ago.
Member since.
Yes,
Since
exactly.
Well, I have my Christian card. Didn't you guys?
Yeah, that's
Totally.
a okay.
problem.
That's a good question though. Like, do you guys? Because I know people that are like, it was January 17th. It was a Wednesday. A little cold that day when I met my Jesus, and like that's just not my life. Like, do you remember the exact day? Anybody in this room when you got like say? Well, of course you do. You're going to seminary. Of course, Rob does. But what about you, Burker?
I don't remember the date, but
Okay.
I remember the day and the circumstances and the event, because I remember my mom came in my room.
That makes
and,
sense though.
Yeah, and I'm like, she always tells the story that I was like, Mommy, I prayed that prayer. Did you pray that prayer? And then I went around to all my family members, making sure they were saved.
Oh, that's
They're
good.
like, "Stop."
Of course, yeah,
Yeah.
we get it. How about you, Betty Rock? Or are you saved? I don't. No, I don't want to put that on you if you're not. I'm kidding. No.
Thank
So when was that?
I know I was 9, and I know it was on Mother's Day, and it landed on a Sunday because my mom told me it was the best Mother's Day she ever had.
Oh, that's sweet. That's
But
sweet.
that's all I know.
That's adorable.
Yeah, but yeah, see, I'm the circumstance I remember, Zach.
Yeah, I was 4, and I remember I was in a little
That's early.
nook. Yeah, so this is the first time.
That was mine.
Yeah.
I was in
Yeah.
like a little nook in our house, and my sister was reading me a like picture book about David and Goliath, and I remember that vividly. But
Wow.
then there was church camp year 1, 2, 3,
I got saved 47 times in high school, because I was such a bad kid. We'd always do spiritual emphasis week, and they'd always have a pastor come in and scare you about hell. And so I'd be like, okay, yes, this is it. I'm saved again. I'm saved again. So I got saved every time just to make sure. But I do remember like the time that I think it was like, if I was to point back to it, that was the real time. And I was in high school, and then I it's weird because then I rabbit trailed off of that, and I've gone up and down, my whole life. But I do remember this. It was after one of the spiritual emphasis week. I remember I was out on the football field talking with our coach, and because he was also the Bible teacher, and that was where I got saved, like as an older teen, like somebody that was, in like 11th grade, where I was like, okay, this makes sense to me now, and this is my decision versus it being a little thing in Sunday school or something, So how about you, Rob? Date, everything?
Well, I don't know if I know the date right off, but it was actually during my freshman year in Bible college.
Okay.
I had one of those testimonies. I grew up in the church and I did everything right, and I certainly gave the appearance of being a Christian. But I was kind of like you. I got saved as more times than I could count during, even starting in like the 2nd grade, and it just finally culminated. I talked to some people who believe you have to be completely perfect if you're a Christian,
Right.
and it was frightening to say the least.
Yeah. How do you live up to that?
Right. So I started to really look into it, and I started realizing, well, I'm not really acting like a Christian at all anyway. So I, at that point, I decided, well, it's either continue living the way that I'm living, which is not very Christian, or I stop living that way and I follow after Christ. And I decided at that point I wanted to follow after Christ instead of keep living that way.
It is that weird balance when like someone's explaining faith to you, because they tend to tell you what you're not supposed to do anymore. Like you talk about not living that way. Well, being a Christian, you got to stop drinking, you got to stop swearing, you got to stop smoking, you got to stop doing, like they tend to lead with all of these things that you got to stop doing. And like to me, that was always like, I don't know if I'm ready to stop all that yet. Like I get it, but that's all behavior modification. And I think that the better way is that you lead with that heart stuff first, and the thing that's missing in you and why you're filling your heart with those things, and that stuff will start to fall off as a result of like an honest relationship versus doing the behavior modification first. I think that's kind of where we get it backwards a little bit in faith.
Nicole commented and said, I think what all of us kind of danced around doing. She says, when I feel guilty or just randomly, I'll ask to be saved, even though I have been saved. I just want to be sure.
Yes, uh-huh.
But always those moments where they're like every head bowed, and you're like,
Okay,
so I'm due for a rededication.
Here's a good one for you. And maybe, Rob, you have some insight onto this theologically as you're going to be in a seminary. I believe there's a Bible that talks about a verse in the Bible that talks about coming to God, but having your sins clean first. Like before you're asking Him for things, like you have to repent for the things you've done up to that point. Does anybody do that? And I could be wrong, but does anybody do that blanket prayer? Like you're getting ready to pray for safe travel or something, and you're like, oh, hey, and real quick, before we get to that, I'm sorry for everything I've done up to this point, all the stuff I've forgotten about, the stuff I probably did 10 minutes ago and forgot about, and now we can start fresh. Does anybody have any insight on that?
Well, you see, I actually confess my sins before God because I'm sorry about them.
Right.
I guess,
Mine's to cover myself.
Right, that's right.
Yes. I'm covering my bases because, okay, here, listen to me.
Not judging you.
No, you are judging me. You are judging me. You're still a jerk kid.
If you want payback, his sister told us on Facebook Live that he's ticklish. So.
Oh, no, I'm not doing that. How does that affect me whatsoever? There's no way I'm coming across and I'm going to get even with you. Tickle, 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 tickle. No, but like, because it's like if I'm praying this other prayer about whatever it is, like let's just say safe travel. animals, for example. But if the rule is you really have to be clean before, and you mean this about, or you're praying for somebody else, like I'm praying for Becca and Joey, and I want it to matter, you know, it's
Yeah,
like,
don't give me your empty prayers for my
exactly.
husband.
Do I have to have all that other stuff wiped out first before that prayer takes root? See?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I'm
I
getting
do.
at.
I actually do try to confess my sins before communion specifically. That's because of, I think it's 1 Corinthians chapter 10 where Paul talks about not taking communion unworthily.
Yes.
yeah.
There you go.
And then
That's
of
what
course
I was gonna say.
you have a passage in I
Uh-huh.
think it's Second Timothy
Titus. Timothy.
No.
Second
Only
Titus.
Second.
one Titus.
Okay.
where Paul is saying that if you want to be a vessel unto honor or useful to God, you have to cleanse yourself of sin and unrighteousness.
There you go.
So there's that as well. But actually, the book of Job covers kind of what you're talking about a little bit.
In chapter
Um, 14,
I think.
Nope, the entire book, actually. Nice try.
I hate this kid.
So it's like that. I mean, it has to be right, you know? So the book actually is, it's sort of this setup where, of course, Satan makes a bet with God, basically, and God's like, sure, you know, take all of Job's stuff away. And the reason for that is because in the Old Testament time, there's something called retribution theology, where if you do bad things, God will do bad things back to you. If you do good things, God will do good things back to you. And so that wasn't the case with Job. So the author of Job is saying, okay, imagine a case where this perfectly righteous person suffers for no apparent reason. And then his friends come along and they're like, okay, well, did you do this sin, this sin, this sin, this sin? Maybe you want to just confess all of those sins before God just to make sure you didn't do them. So that book is actually critiquing kind of what you're talking about, where you have to confess your sins, otherwise God's going to smite you or something.
Oh, well, thank goodness. Now I know, and I don't have to. That's good news.
I think it's Sister Day on Facebook Live because my sister just posted, Wally, Jesus makes you clean, not the fact that you've confessed every little thing. His blood covers it all, known and unknown, past and future.
Oh, I like hers better. Let's go with her. Where's her theology degree from? I just like her. Which sister is that?
My little sister, Paula.
Oh, yeah, she's smart. Yeah. She's good.
What
Not
would you
like
say?
Joy. No. I'm kidding. I love Joy.
This is coming from you, Wally.
Yes.
I love your sisters on Facebook. It's fun.
Yes.
And your
Yeah.
mom, too. They all comment. I like to read them.
Yeah, they're good people.
I like
He has a
Zach's
great
family.
family. Yeah, he's got a great family. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, those are the big questions that we're addressing here, the theological-based questions today.
Walter likes this great conversation. He doesn't want to derail, but he wants to confirm, Wally, are you wearing the infamous bird shirt?
Oh, I am. Yes. The bird
that
shirt
it?
that Becca destroyed
I
with
didn't
my
destroy it.
grape
Where's the
juice.
stain?
I know. My
Where's
wife
the
was able
stain?
to get it all out, and I'm wearing the bird shirt today.
And in my defense, there was a dog in the building,
Right,
and I
you-
had to get to it.
I get that. I
Yeah.
get that. I'm
Thank you.
not offended at all. I'm just glad it worked out because I love this shirt.
Kind of an ugly shirt, actually.
No, it's not an ugly shirt. See?
Rob, this is the one shirt we give him.
Yes.
The one
Yes.
thing. We can critique anything else. The bracelets, fair game.
I like that Rob's still wearing a Pure Genius T-shirt representing from back in the
Yeah.
day. With
I
us.
am sucking up a little bit. That was on purpose. I made a list of things to pack, and I did put Pure Genius T-shirt for sucking up.
Nice. Good for you. Good for you. All right. Before we move on, you had said there was something you wanted to discuss with us.
Yeah, so it's maybe a little bit of a controversy. Some might say it's a scandal.
Oh, I like
actually.
this. Is it Becca deleting the podcast?
It is not Becca deleting the podcast.
Go
I
ahead.
remember that day, actually, and the person who went back a year and told you about it, that's my job.
Yeah, that's
my
true.
job.
Yeah, that's what.
I might be open to internships. You know, if she wants to like vacuum my bedroom or like run and get me donuts. That's fine.
Wait. Me
Not
work for
you. No, the person that brought it up.
Yeah, the person who's taking my job.
Got
but
it.
that's
yes.
mine.
Yeah, he knows more about this show. He would always, we call him the show historian because he would send me emails about things that were going on the show. Do you know that this happened in 1925 or whatever it was, you know? And he was usually right. So, okay, what did you want to bring up?
So you make a lot of fun of millennials for
I do.
Just always needing a trophy. They have to get their recognition. But
Correct.
then on the show,
Yes.
when you're doing any sort of a game, competition, even between two listeners, whether they win or lose, you give them a prize.
Usually,
And
yes.
it's the same CD.
Right,
Yeah.
You're
usually.
giving them a prize
I know.
regardless of what they do.
I'm trying to
You're
be a
a
nice
hypocrite.
person. No,
Hypocrite.
I think we all know that.
Hypocrite.
How many stones? Does stone-
I've never claimed to not be a hypocrite. Yeah, because I always feel bad. Like people take the time, and man, I'll tell you, the things that people don't know is people will call and they will sit on hold sometimes for 15 minutes. You know, and I hate that, but it's just the way that the show has to work, where we're recording calls and cutting them up and getting things on. And so yeah, I feel bad for people staying that long. So I usually give them a prize. It's just because
it
really
doesn't
the
win.
game.
Because deep
Didn't
in your
win.
soul, you believe that everybody deserves a prize.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
that's true.
No, he wants to be so loved that he will.
I want people to fear how much they love me, to quote Michael Scott. Yes, that's absolutely true. Yes, that's what I am. Oh, he did that. That jerk. He did. We have these buttons that these idiots can push that just send what they're saying into my head directly in. All right, seriously, that no one else can hear. Thank you, Rock, for being the only one to not devolve into that.
She just can't
there
reach
she
it.
goes. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, because it throws me off. Like I'll be talking. I'm starting to throw stuff. I already threw stuff at Zach this morning and missed him. Zach was making a McDonald's run, and so I gave him $1 for my soda, and he's like, "Oh, you don't have the 9 cents
For the tax.
So that's so Zach." And so I pulled like a quarter out of my thing and threw it at him. And this is how far we sit away from each other. It's a good 4 feet. And I threw a quarter. I'm like, "Oh yeah, well here's your money."
Did you throw it just like that?
I
too?
did. I
Yep.
threw it just like that, like a girl. It hit his laptop, dinged his laptop,
So
and then
missed me.
yeah.
From 4 feet. Right.
Yeah, so I cannot hit the broadside of a building from 4 feet away for sure.
And in fairness, I do need to say the only reason I made that joke is because you always pay over what
Yeah,
you owe.
I try to.
So that's commendable.
All right, well, let's go to a little bit of news. We have one story we didn't get to today.
Yes, this was actually holdover from yesterday before I almost died before we recorded
That
the
was
podcast.
weird. Yeah, Becca's better today. She left, just had some weird thing like.
Yeah, I wasn't ill, and I knew I wasn't ill, but all of a sudden I got a migraine, which I've only ever had maybe once before. And so that was bizarre. I was wearing glasses, so I wonder if that had to do with it. But then I went home and I slept. I took like a 4-hour nap, woke up for a little bit, fell back asleep, woke up for a little bit, and then went to bed at 6:30.
And you know why you're better? Because I prayed for you, but I confessed all my other sins first. So you're welcome.
Will you do that for Joey then, please?
Yes. Yeah. I'm the sin in Joey's life. Okay.
At what point is it no longer a nap? Like 4 hours seems to be pushing
Yeah.
about what's considered like that's just sleeping, right?
I don't know. Something was wrong with me, though, because I
That's
could not
crazy.
function. And then today I'm fine.
I think 2 hours is a nap. Anything over 2 is like sleeping.
Like you're doing REM sleep at that point.
Yeah, because I took almost a 3-hour nap yesterday because it's been a long week. Like we get up so early, and so if you have a couple late nights in a row, it just starts to compound. And even if you do it to yourself, like by choice, and so that's where I was
Did you go
yesterday.
see a lame rock
Yes.
band?
Yes, it's totally on me. I get that. So like, and then I had a birthday party to go to last night, and so like I'm like, okay, I'm napping today like an old man nap.
No, I had napped a ton. I even had a dream that I was saving my neighborhood from a giant panther. But anyway,
Nice.
um,
Her dreams are
That was a good
so
trailer
weird.
for the anyway.
yes. So there's a 95-year-old man in Fort Worth, and his air conditioning unit broke. And with the weather the way it is right now, like that's dangerous, especially if you're elderly, to have that situation. He couldn't afford a repairman, so he didn't know what else to do but call the police. So he calls 911, which
You shouldn't do, but
probably shouldn't be a 911
Right.
call, but these officers showed up and realized how hot his apartment had gotten and how dangerous it was for him at 95 years old. So they went above and beyond. They went to their local Home Depot and purchased a window AC unit for him with their own money out of their
That's
own
cool.
pocket. And the cool thing too is that the Home Depot manager found out what they were doing and decided to pitch in money or give them a discount from the store to help cover it.
Oh,
And
that's
so
nice.
This guy got his AC unit in his window until he can afford to get his central air
That's
fixed.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the good cop stories. You know, it's weird. It didn't seem like about 8 months ago that there was a rash of bad cop, bad cop, bad cop, bad cop, and then we haven't seen a bunch of those stories recently, which has been really nice.
And sometimes it does snowball, but I like the reality is most stories about officers are good stories. And like right now I'm taking my self-defense class, which we've been talking about.
yeah,
Tonight's
tomorrow, fight night tomorrow.
Tonight's fight night.
I know. I can't wait.
Oh my goodness. So I'm gonna be tired again tomorrow. But and the women who are teaching the class and the men who are helping out are just phenomenal people, so
Right.
funny. And they said, and this is kind of a good advice for parents, I think. They said they hate it when they're in a restaurant and a parent comes up to them and says, "Oh, that's where you're gonna go if you get in trouble. She's gonna arrest you."
Yeah.
And instead of doing that, like get a picture with the officer and teach your kids that, oh, they shouldn't be feared and they're a good part of society and they're the ones to be trusted if they're ever in trouble.
Mhm. That's good advice. All right, so let's move on to some birthdays here. Real quick, I have one that we have to talk about before we get to the ones for today. This is from yesterday. Hey, Wally, so I was listening to the podcast on the 14th, and you all you missed that you gave a Trump shout out for his birthday. Remember the birthday that you did yesterday, Betty Rock, from Barron to Donald? And
I think so.
That's
yes,
funny.
I totally didn't pick up on it either. I didn't get it either.
Oh, to Donald Trump?
Yes, it was a fake birthday request that somebody put in from Barron.
Or Barron listens.
Yes, that's what Kiara is saying. She said, like, so either you gave a fake birthday shout out to Donald Trump or the president of the United States listens to your podcast. So I think we know what that is. We
I'm
got duped.
embarrassed I missed that.
Yeah, I totally didn't.
That's-
I didn't get it. So I'm like, oh, okay, it's just another birthday.
I was laying down on the floor of our office.
Yeah, exactly. So you were out, but yeah, Betty and I were like, yeah, okay, that's nice. So there you go. And then a thank you from Jazzy. She said, I was on like a level 100 after receiving my birthday shout out. It's okay that you totally messed up my name, but you were right that my name is pronounced Giselle. And she said, my husband's not a potty, so he didn't know what to do. He still surprised me by the birthday shout out. So thank you guys so much. I've been listening since I was 13.
Oh,
So
wow.
she's probably like 23 now. Holy cow. That's
Wow.
amazing. All right, Betty Rock, what you got?
Okay. So Catherine Carnahan wants to wish her son a happy 11th birthday. Jordan Althouse wants to wish the uncle, Jordan, I don't know, that could go for a girl or a guy, I'm not really sure. Their uncle, Ben, a happy birthday. He or she says, why are Wally, Zach, and Becca always mean to Betty Rock?
That is so not true.
Betty
That's not
Rock is
true
my
at
favorite
all.
member of the
That
show.
is
She's the
so
meanest one.
That
not,
is
yes.
so sweet of you, Jordan.
Oh my
I'm the
goodness.
meanest one?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
You know that thing that you guys always do where you, like, I don't know, put collars on Wally and shock him and
Yes.
He
almost try to
deserves
kill
that.
him and
Yeah.
tase him, give him heart palpitations?
Did we come and ask you for your
There it
opinion?
is right there. That's the mean Betty.
No.
That's
See?
that's mean
See?
Betty.
Yep.
See,
That's
you
what
just
you
I
get.
did nothing to
experienced it.
deserve it. you know?
Yeah, people, because I'll get that too. People don't realize they think she's the sweetest thing. She's the
I am.
she's the one that like
Y'all bring
sucker
the mean
punches
things
you.
out of
Someone
me
crosses
because
Oh, so now
you.
you're
y'all
admitting
poke
you're
the
mean.
bear. I'm
Yeah.
a sweet teddy bear, and then y'all keep poking the bear and make it a grizzly bear.
Yeah.
So everybody just shut up.
There she
Wait,
is.
I thought you wanted to hug a grizzly bear, so now
There
you're
she
admitting they're
is.
mean?
I don't like him.
I know you don't,
This
and
is
I
not
get
the
it.
first time she's told me this
yeah.
either.
Yeah, that part I get. Oh, I do remember that. She said that years ago too.
Yeah.
There was something like an email or something.
Anyways, Megan wants to wish her husband John a happy birthday. Becky Neal to her husband Justin.
Wow, a lot of them.
And Ken Adams to his cousin John. I skipped over. Becky wanted to ask why we really like it when Marty is on the show.
Oh, really?
And is she going to be on more often now that Haley is going to college?
Oh, that's
Because she
interesting.
can just come in with you every morning.
She
now.
could. You know
but
what?
then she's got to get up.
I know. Yeah, she doesn't like that.
And she's got to keep her voice. Do you remember that weird thing?
She loses her voice at the drop of a hat
Yeah.
sometimes. It's the weirdest thing. I know what is going to happen. It gets gravelly for a second and then just it's gone. And so, yeah, she usually comes in and is on like our events that we do, our drives that we do, because she's so passionate about the things that we support and want to help. And she's just great at, supporting these places throughout the year and stuff too. And so, yeah, we don't have her on a lot because she doesn't really. She likes doing it for that, but I don't think she likes necessarily being on the air. Like, she's one of those people that's, like, completely out of the spotlight. She doesn't like it, which is why we work, because I relish it.
She lets you have it all to yourself.
Exactly. She never challenges me for it, which is fantastic.
We could do a regular bit with her now that Haley's gone.
Not necessary. No, I don't think so.
There is something that to be said about like couples who work together. Like
Yes.
it creates a really dangerous situation. In high school, I had two teachers who were married. And so they interacted a lot, and you could tell if they were having troubles at home because she'd come in and like toss papers down on the desk in front of him. And
Oh, yeah. I've told
Yeah.
her multiple times I couldn't work with
That
her.
would be a lot of fun. I think one week we should bring in Joey and he should work here.
Oh, that's a
I'd
good
love
idea.
to
for
bring
a
Joey
week,
in.
bring in
Yeah,
Marty.
yeah.
And for a week, bring in Sarah. That would be so much. And then I can bring Clem.
That'd be perfect.
It'd
Yeah,
be so much fun.
I've told Marty, I'm like, I can't work with you because we work too differently. The way I like things being done and stuff, and then to put those restrictions or expectations on her, and then she doesn't work in that environment well, would be really, really hard.
When we first moved to Tennessee, when I first moved to Tennessee, Joey had a job, and his company was thinking about hiring a receptionist, and I didn't. And since I didn't have a job, I'm like, oh, that's
I'll
perfect.
do it.
And he's like, actually, they have a policy against it, and it was true because
Oh,
they
it was
had
true? I
Yeah,
thought
it
he was
was true.
lying.
No, 'cause we were essentially that we were newlyweds.
Wait, you actually went and looked it up?
No, I
You
heard
didn't
that.
trust him?
No.
Wow.
Well, like once I got to know those guys better, they told the story about spouses that had worked together, and it was like created a terrible environment for everybody.
Yep.
Because when they were having just a little bit snippy with each other, it like degrades because you're with each other all the time.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, I totally get that. So no segments with Marty as we
Wouldn't-
move on.
Wouldn't working with Joey be kind of draining anyway?
Oh, nicely done. Well
He
played.
said that totally deadpan.
Yeah, he
Chris.
did. Yeah, he did. He's had that held up too. Rob's a funny kid.
Did you get Zach's?
Deadpan?
Chris.
Oh, I didn't get that. I'm sorry.
Sorry, did he have to explain it to me?
Explain. Oh, you guys.
Guys,
Wow.
I got GI jokes for days.
No, what have I
Nice.
done?
You guys
Don't
you
you
guys
worry.
are killing that. Nicely done. All right, that's gonna have to do it for the Aftercast today. And as always, thank you so much for being a potty.
Can we real quick shout out to Bradley, who we were talking about winning stuff on the show. He won a trip to New York City.
No way.
He was one of our New York winners. I don't remember what contest that was, but that's awesome.
Oh
That was a while
wow.
ago.
Oh
The
wow.
Broadway one, maybe? Broadway Baby?
Oh, is that the same?
That could
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know. I thought it was another contest we had done. Well, that's awesome.
Yes. How long does he need to listen to the show to pay off for that prize?
Yeah, I don't know. A while. That was a good trip.
So thanks for tuning in.
Yeah,
Bradley.
exactly. Any other Facebook stuff before we go?
I guess a friend of mine is telling Betty to show me. I'm not sure exactly how Betty would do that.
Oh,
but-
Oh.
show Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put him in his place.
Oh,
Your sister said you have dad jokes for days, Rob.
I have elephant jokes for days.
elephant jokes?
Elephant jokes. You've never heard an elephant joke?
No.
Okay, so I'll tell you just two really bad ones and one that's kind of funny.
Okay.
Okay, so what did Tarzan say when he saw a herd of elephants in the distance?
I don't know.
Oh, look, a herd of elephants in the distance.
Oh yeah.
What's the
that's
difference between an elephant and a plum?
horrible. An elephant is a pachyderm, and a plum is a.
Elephants are gray. What did Jane say when she saw a herd of elephants in the distance?
I hear
There's elephants in the
elephants.
distance.
Oh, look, a herd of plums in the distance. Jane was colorblind. All right. And then this one actually kind of funny. What do you call two elephants on a bicycle?
I don't know.
Optimistic.
All right, well, you're going to be a youth pastor for sure. So nicely done. All right, that's going to do it there for Facebook now as well. So thank you very much, Facebook.